Hello and welcome back to Blackpool for another quarter-final match, and this is Embassy World Pool Championships. £41,000 in total prize money is at stake, and I'm delighted to say that one man still very much in with a chance of pocketing the lion's share has joined me in the studio this evening. Lee Kendall. Lee, first of all, congratulations for reaching the quarter-finals. In itself, that's an achievement.
Yeah, I'm happy to be in the quarter-finals and still in it at this stage.
You're making it look very easy as well.
Well, I've got through two matches quite comfortable, but this is where it gets hard now.
And the quarter-final lineup is very difficult indeed. If we take a look at the draw now, did you see the match between Appleton and Holtz?
I certainly did, yeah. It was a very high-standard match. Pat did very well to win it. I mean, Darren Appleton was a tournament favourite, so to knock the tournament favourite out in the quarter-finals, done very well.
You're up against Phil Harrison. Your thoughts on that one?
Well, he's top of the averages this year, so he's playing very well, but it's going to be a hard match.
Well, the match that we're going to focus on this evening is a little bit of a David and Goliath situation, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you've got Jason Twist, former champion, against an unknown, 30-1 on Jason, and an unknown. What price do you get on the unknowner?
Well, absolutely. Let's look at Jason's details, his stats. He was in tremendous form at the moment. Remember, he won this event 2 years ago. Can he win this event again? Well, if he carries on playing like he is seeded number 4. He's got every chance. He's up against a young man from Ireland who's making his debut in this event, and apparently he doesn't care whether he pots another ball. What do you think about that, Lee?
I think nor should he. He's done a great achievement to get here, and if he gets anything else out of this match, it's a major achievement for him.
Big question, can he spring another surprise?
I don't know. Might be a tournament of surprises.
Well, we're about to find out. I'll hand you over to our MC, Alan Hughes.
Thank you, Mark, and let's welcome the players. And first, a young man appearing in his first ever quarter and making his television debut. His opponent, one of the most experienced players in the game and a former Embassy World Champion himself. Will you welcome together Steve Horan and Jason Twist?
Well, we've already been treated to one superb quarter-final with Patrick Holtz booking his place in the semi-finals. Who will join him? Will it be Jason Twist or the underdog, Steve Horan? We're about to find out. I'll hand you over to our commentary team, Chris Melling, Tony Holgate, and first of all, Jim White.
So Jason Twist all set to break off. Frame number 1 of a possible 17. Very little known about Stephen Horan, but I can tell you one thing, guys. If he's nervous, he's ready. Nothing down for Jason Twist. Mark was saying in presenting the program that Steve says he'll be happy if he doesn't pot another ball. I think that feeling will be gone very, very shortly. He's a very worthy player, otherwise he wouldn't be here in the quarterfinal stages. Experience always plays a major role, especially in front of the TV cameras, and very few players have more experience in that regard than Jason Twist. But if Stephen can use that and build on that, put no pressure on himself, I think he can be a very tall order for Jason.
Red balls in play.
Just trying to guard the pocket there. The early frames obviously are going to be very big, and Tony Holgate, I know that you know Stephen very well as he's gone back to his chair now. And how do you think Jason would approach this match?
Well, Steve Horan is actually my international roommate. He's just got on the Irish team this year. He plays very quickly. He is a great talent, and I think he's going to be very, very nervous indeed. Jason, I mean, he's been pestering me all week, asking me, how good is he, because he doesn't know him. And of course, I've given him absolutely no information whatsoever, but...
As would befit a countryman, Tony, eh?
Yeah, but I actually know Stephen is obviously very nervous because I couldn't get in the bathroom in the room earlier, just before the tournament, before this match, but Steve needs to get a frame on the board very, very early, just to settle the nerves. He showed he's not frightened to give Jason the 2 visits, but Jason Twist, of course, has won this title before. No stranger to the big stage. Accomplished England international. And I just feel that he probably will prove too strong for Steve on his first outing in front of the TV cameras.
Well, second visit in right away. Jason, a former winner of this event. He was the champion in 2000, and he is the number 4 seed this year, and obviously heavily fancied to progress through to the semifinals.
I'll tell you what, that was a bit of a wild shot from Jason. I'm not sure if he intended to screw back behind the red, and I don't think he did by the smile he just gave.
Total snooker.
A total eclipse.
Time running.
Shouldn't be too difficult to hit the yellows from here. And the reds ideally placed for Jason if a mistake comes back. Well, what a shot from Steve Horan there.
Time out. Total snooker. Time running.
He had a nice result there.
And Chris Melling, you know what it takes to forge your way through the ranks and hoist the hardware at the end of the event. Does Jason Twist have it this year?
Yeah, Jason's playing very well. He's been playing well in the teen games, and he's every chance here. He's everybody keeps saying he's got a good draw, but I played this young man in the team event, and he didn't give me a shot. And I don't think he's afraid of who he's playing. If he plays his normal game, he's going to be very hard to beat.
I don't think you ever have to worry about your opponent. There can only ever be one person at the table at a time.
Another good shot there from Steve.
Total snooker.
Snookered Jason Twist again. But he doesn't like to hang about, Stephen. You won't see him queuing over the ball very long. But he has got, like, a very strange thing that you don't see in many players is, like you said, he doesn't care if he misses or pots the ball. That's how it seems. Nothing really flutters him.
Which is a great approach to have.
Well, it's either that or he's completely mad.
Which is a great approach to have. Again, containment, the order of the day right now for both parties. Nothing easy for Jason. That red next to the black may be available into the center, but I don't know whether he'd take that on.
Well, I think this early tactical battle can only be in Steve's favour, because he's never been in this position on the TV, and he doesn't know what the table runs like. I think it can only be in his favour to get used to it as early as he can.
Cracking safety shot there from Jason Twist. Putting the 8 ball to the top right hand side of the table. You can see the reds that Jason Twist is on control that pocket. Stephen taking a little longer now to decide what to do. And he didn't mean to double kiss the white back out.
He's a design engineer by profession, is Stephen Horan. And at 25 years of age, is this going to be a baptism of fire into the Embassy Whirlpool Championships? He figured his hardest match through to this quarter-final stage was against his fellow countryman, Tony, John Cullum, in the last 32. He actually trailed 7-4 in that match before coming out an 8-7 winner.
Yeah, John Cullum actually had 2 shots on the black to win that match at the end and made a mess of it.
Bell, 2 visits.
Steve Stevens giving away the 2 visits. He's tried to put the yellow, wanted it right over the corner pocket, but as you can see, there is a gap and the 8 will pass. So you've got to fancy Jason to draw first blood in this quarter-final encounter.
That could be the shot. Opens the door, the one difficult red, the one nearest the top right. May have to develop that.
I think that red will be coming out. This next shot is going to try and double it into the top left-hand corner as we look. Won't play this too heavy.
Second
He's
visit.
now on his second visit.
This is just the sort of start Jason would have wanted. Coming in as a prohibitive favorite, so important to get off the mark and stamp your authority on this match.
Just wants to get the kibble into the centre of the table here. Overhit it, but it's happy days. He's still on the ball at the top. Can roll that in. Leave himself on the red into the right-hand centre. And he's got a big pocket for the 8-ball.
Just landed slightly too high there on the red. Wanted to be a bit lower so he had the angle to get on the black. I think he might have to go up and down here.
No dangers, Chris. This simple 8 for Jason Twist to take the first frame. And he does. Opens accounts here against Stephen Horan from Ireland. It's 1-0 to Jason Twist.
Second frame. Steve Horan to break. Trails. Love 1 love.
Best of 17. Stephen Horan goes at the attack from the side of the table. You don't see that often in this game.
Open table.
Nothing down. This our second quarterfinal to see who will oppose Pat Hulse. As we see the break off yet again from Stephen. And he doesn't want to try and have to produce breaks like that against Jason Twist, because Jason will take advantage. We'll have to sort the problem out, try and get the break working, and hopefully put pay to it.
30 seconds.
Still choice for Jason. Looks like he's electing yellows.
Yellow balls in play.
Nice little kiss on that yellow. Bring now into the open.
Not sure
He's
if
gonna
he's
have to play the
landed
yellow.
on one though, Tony.
He's going to have to play the yellow at the bottom of the table. I mean, he's going to cover the bag should he miss this shot. He's made the pot.
From what we've seen from young Stephen Horan, he likes to play very fast, and Jason, with his experience, might realize that would afford him the easiest path to victory in this match. So at the end of the day, you've still got to knock the balls in.
Nice shot there from Jason Twist. He's just sat a wee bit close to the rail.
Yeah, he hasn't got a bad angle here, just to cut the yellow in the top and maybe dislodge the red next to his bad yellow. And that's what I'll be trying to do.
With a bit of side. Well, that's what he tried, Chris, but both parts of that equation went awry.
Now Stephen has his first open opportunity, but will he go for him?
No better chance than right now to see exactly how Stephen Horan feels.
Well, Stephen's not the greatest safety player in the world. Like I say, the first time he was on the team, well, first international match, he was actually asking me about some of the shots to do with the rules. So I think you're going to see him attack a little bit more, Jim. But his first love is pool, and his ambition was to get into the Irish national team, and he's succeeded in doing so. And now he finds himself in the quarterfinals of the biggest championship in the world.
Bad miss there. And a costly one, I feel.
He won't be pleased with himself with that one.
Each one of those misses will just increase the pressure that he's going to feel as he comes to the table.
I just feel sometimes Stephen needs to just take a step back and compose himself and just have a little look at his options.
Oh, where's this cue ball going here? Well, another couple inches, and that's right in behind the red. As it is, the 8 down, and the tornado, Jason Twist, marches on towards the score. Well, he's looking for a place in the semifinals. He needs 2-0 over Steve Horan. Jason Twist all set to break. Frame 3 of a possible 17. Already 2-0 ahead of Stephen Horan. And a ball down off the break.
Tremendous amount of topspin on the cue ball.
The ball spotted.
Amazing split here, really. Just watch it again. Just cracked into those, and then the force follow on that cue ball. But all the balls just seem to head towards the side cushions.
Well, the biggest problem on the table for Jason here is actually the 8 ball. And he's tried to get it out already. Now, where's he landed? Has he landed snookered? It's very tight to that red ball. Whatever, yes, you can just see it, but the 8 ball is still where it wants to start with, and in a problem for Jason.
No easy starting red, though, for Steve here.
And I think with Jason, should I say Stephen rather, he needs an easy chance, I think, presented to him to just get rid of those early nerves. And this is certainly not an easy chance. Very good snooker, though.
And in so doing, Tony's developed a couple difficult reds. So he's matured his situation to some degree.
Open snooker.
Obviously hoping for another opportunity.
I think Jason can actually play the white just between the gap of reds off the bottom cushion.
Just try and contact the yellow in the center, Chris.
That's right, Jim.
Still, the chance afforded Steve right now.
I think what Steve's looking at here is to pop the red up the cushion off the red in the centre bag. But it's a very difficult shot.
Well, that red there doesn't really look like it passes the yellow. So that will be a problem or a hurdle that Stephen's going to have to try and get over at some stage.
It's got a tight red into the right-hand centre.
Very little takeaway, doesn't he, with his cueing action? He doesn't pull the cue back at all.
Well, sooner or later he's going to have to get on that difficult red. And I think his options are starting to run out.
Well, you look, the longer you leave the hard ones, the more difficult they get at the end, Chris, and he's going to have to take the double on into the centre pocket now. And he's missed it, and here's another opportunity for Jason Twist.
That's all you can ever ask when you're in a match, is that you get the opportunities, whether or not you're going to be able to rise to the occasion. But you just need that occasion to come. And Jason Twist, it has to be said, is getting the chances, as many as he would have liked.
Well, Jason's 2-0 up at the moment and looking like 3-0, and he hasn't done anything sparkling to be in that position either.
He's just bided his time and capitalized on the mistakes that have come his way. I think it was fair to say he assumed he was going to get mistakes. And we said at the outset of this that it was vital if Stephen Horan was to have any chance here that the early frames had to go his way, or at least some of them.
Will Jason try and knock this yellow now over the centre bag, or will he play on it onto the same pocket? Great shot there from Jason. Landed perfect.
Again, a sign of a man in control, not only of his emotion, but of the match in general.
He's played that shot very well. Got perfect angle now to either kick into the black or just gain position onto it. Just a simple 8-ball now, really. This is gently down the rail. We know the pockets are generous, and this is for 3-0.
The 8 down, Jason Twist is into the comfort zone. 3-0 ahead of Steve Horan in this quarter-final.
Yes, the number 4 seed looking very relaxed indeed. Lee, impressed with what you've seen so far?
Well, Jason hasn't really been asked any questions yet, and I think the other chap's just pushing the game too far, really. He's got to just take his time and just try and make some chances, not force chances.
I mean, Jason's 3-0 up, but does he look too relaxed?
He's too relaxed. I don't think he expects to get a match today. I think he thinks he's in an exhibition at the moment where he can just relax, and if he wins, he wins, but we'll see.
Yeah, this man, Steve Horan, he really needs to start producing the goods very quickly indeed. He's 3 down, just about to get the 4th underway in a race to 9.
Steve Horan breaks off now. Frame 4, yellow down, and a red as well. So this looks like a great chance to take the reds. Another look at the break off here. Red into the right center, yellow top left, and the reds look to be a little better placed than the yellows. It's just a matter of personal preference, how he feels. He does have that one red on the left center near the cushion that would pose a problem if he does elect reds.
The only thing that concerns me at the moment really with Stephen is his break. He likes to put his hand on the cloth as he breaks, and you cannot generate the power that you can if you put your hand on the side of the table. It's just even when he's making a ball off the break, they're not splitting that great.
Last year, Jason ended up getting beat in the last 32. He's been one of the most consistent performers in the 10-year.
That's a great shot there from Stephen. He's on his awkward red. He's going to have to take it into the top left-hand corner. Just bringing the cue ball back to the bottom rail. But he doesn't really want to leave it where he's cueing there, because he needs to have an angle on it to go to the top of the table. He's made the pot.
Good shot, that one.
But what's the position like? And there you are, you can see, you can only hit the thin edge of this.
And how does he get the cue ball up table for the last red?
Well, he's not certain to make the pot. And there's just a bit of inexperience there. He needed to get that cue ball back to the bottom of the table, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, the reason being, if he brings the white back to the bottom cushion, it makes the angle absolutely perfect, and the white will automatically go up table for his last red. He's just made it a little more difficult for himself there. But again, Jason comes to the table, all open for him, and he's just living off Stephen's mistakes.
And there we are, they've come out nice for Jason now. Another simple finish.
Well, I was saying earlier that Jason has been one of the more consistent players in the 10 years that this event has been in existence. Along with our studio guest Lee Kendall, it seems like every time the end of May, early June rolls around, they're here. Just a note there, I made a time reference which may not be the best. Yeah.
Well, Jason Twist has made short work of these yellows. But like you said, Chris, they're being handed to him on a plate.
But you just get the feeling that he expects it to be easy.
Time running.
I think that if Stephen Horan ever did start firing back and producing the goods, the element of surprise might well work in his favour.
See Jason with the rest there, not a problem really for him, but he's played a poor shot there.
Well, now he's going to have to double this black. That's a horrible shot. This could be the chance that Stephen Horan was waiting for.
Yeah, that was slack. I think he maybe a bit of complacency crept in there.
I think he's really got to try and bank this or double it into the top right. What are his choices?
Well, I think the double's the only shot really, using the rest.
Well, I can assure you, he didn't go for that middle bag.
No, that was a long ways away, that one. Can Stephen clear up now to take his first frame and settle his nerves?
And that's not the best shot that he's going to play. Almost looks certain to be giving Jason yet another chance unless he can flick this into the corner. Got second place.
Well, he's left Jason a double into the left-hand centre pocket.
He can still offer a smile, but I have a feeling that that's one that is only on the outward end of Stephen Horan. It's there! What a shot from Jason Twist! It took a while to decide it, but in the end it went the way Jason wanted. 4-0 over Steve Horan. Well, Steve Horan, you know, now a man really under the gun. The pressure is on, and he's starting to show everybody at home watching as well as everybody here in attendance that he is a very nervous pool player. And that might well be something that's going to be tough to dump. That moniker tends to stick with you.
These 4 frames to know.
Jason Twist, all set to break, 4-0 in front, feeling very relaxed and in complete control here. Nothing off the break.
Open table.
Down to Steve Horan right now. He's got to try and get back into this one, claw his way back into this match. 1 ball, 1 frame at a time. Another look at Jason Twist's break, and no friends. Tony, you know this young Irish player as well as anyone. Does he have the parts to be able to come back into this?
He's a tremendous potter when he gets going here, Stephen. And like Chris said before, when we played England in one of the group matches early in the tournament, he left Chris with 7 balls on the table. Chris never had a shot against him. So he does have that in his armour. But I just think, you know, it's the occasion, it's the quarter-finals of the World Championships. You're playing a former world champion. It's just everything at once for him, and I hope he does get his game into order, because he is a great player.
I mean, he plays so fast, obviously a quick thinker. Do you think that can, especially given the situation and center stage here of the biggest event in the world, playing that quick possibly can work against him, Tony?
I've said to him, you know, in certain team games over the last couple of months, you know, you know, take your time, step back, etc. But this is how he likes to play. He plays at this pace and this pace only.
Not a very good shot there. But what a recovery. Tremendous recovery, Yellow, and right now it just looks like he's skating uphill.
It's a great shot there, unbelievable. But he does not flirt with danger. And he'll be going for a cut into this right-hand centre here. Just wants to play this very slowly. I cannot believe he's played it at that pace.
I just think he's trying to seize the moment with every opportunity he gets. But unfortunately, he keeps running out of position and making it very hard for himself. And Jason's stepping up every time, and the balls are easy.
And his head was up off the cue very, very early.
Yeah, a lot of movement there, Tony. Very noticeable in that replay. Head up and the arm off.
Well, he's trying to play with a smile on his face.
30 seconds.
And he has got a great temperament. That's one big plus he has got going for him. He doesn't get despondent.
I can't believe what Jason's tried to do there. He had a chance to put a ball in the top left-hand pocket, but chose to take a red off the other red, giving Steve another chance.
Well, I think Jason now feels that he can do exactly what he likes, really, and win this match.
You do start to feel invincible, knowing that you're going to come to the table with 2, 3 good opportunities to win every frame. And if that doesn't allow you to loosen up that back cueing arm, nothing does.
Well, Lee Kendall in his studio said he was exactly right what he said when he said Jason Twist has been asked no questions whatsoever, and he hasn't. He's not been put under any pressure. I mean, you always feel that if suddenly Stephen turned into maybe a Chris Melling or a Darren Appleton, that Jason Twist would be able to go through the gears and really move into his best form.
Once again, everything on a silver platter for Jason Twist, the event's number 4 seed. Looking full value to progress right through to the semi-finals.
Well, the way this is going, Jason Twist is going to be very fresh should he advance to semi-finals, because he's not had a match. Lovely for Jason, he won't have to change his shirt, trousers, none of it.
Perfectly positioned to the 8 again. Bottom right for 5-0. And confirmation. Jason Twist quickly deposits all remaining colors in black to surge yet 5 frames in front in this race to 9. Frame 6. Again, successful off the break.
Yellow ball spotted.
And if ever a player needed a win, it's right now.
Yellow ball's in play.
But he's got a great break, Tony.
Oh, it's fairly one of those ones, Jim. Made a yellow off the break. He's elected to play the yellows. And off we go again. I feel you should play the yellow at the bottom of the table now, Chris.
Yes.
Perfect angle to come up, yeah?
Possibly cannon the red. Just above the one. But I've got to take this opportunity now because the match is starting to run away from him.
Oh, that was a good confident pot.
Well, I wonder what... Now he's 5-0 down, the pressure might have just completely gone off him. I know Stephen wants to put up a good show, and he'll be disappointed if he doesn't get anything on his side of the scoreboard. Big shot here, though. This is not an easy shot.
Very difficult shot, Tony. I was just about to say, this will certainly test him.
He's knocked it in like it wasn't there.
Pass that with flying colours.
Unbelievable. So the thing is, he's knocking in all the tough ones. And it's the simple ones that are costing him the match. Just like that.
He just doesn't have that finishing touch right now. He's been faced a number of times with frame-winning opportunities, and he just isn't putting pay to them. That's the reason he finds himself 5-0 down.
Well, I know Stephen's mother and father are on holiday in Portugal at the moment, and I suspect at the moment he wishes he was there with them.
And he's only too aware that these cameras are following his every move. I know, having played on television in my career, I think your best results are when you have no idea that the TV cameras are even there. Your concentration is so focused and such that you're almost not aware of anything that goes on or outside that surface of the green felt. But full marks to Jason. He's taken the opportunities when they've come.
Well, I think Jason now will be starting to think about Pat Holtz and the semi-final.
Tony, I have a feeling he was thinking about Pat Holtz before he hit a ball here.
You could well be right.
And the beat goes on for Jason Twist. 6-0. He is yet to drop a frame in this quarterfinal. Steve Horan with it all to do in this race to 9. Well, that tells you right there, if that doesn't give an indication of what a prohibitive favorite Jason Twist was coming into this quarterfinal, nothing will. Already frame 7. The tornado parks that cue ball in the middle of the table.
Great cue ball control from the break.
Open table.
Didn't make a ball, though.
And I think he looks surprised there. A perfect break, except for nothing dropping.
I think Steve will be quite happy just to get one frame on the board.
And I have to believe, Chris, that that first one for Stephen is going to be a very difficult one indeed. Dare I say it, yet another opportunity to win a frame.
I see he's just about slowed down to very quick now.
Well, nobody can say he hasn't had his opportunities. It's just the pressure's got to him, and it's so hard out there.
He's going to have to play these two reds at the bottom of the table. The thing is, he's pushing the second one towards Jason's yellows. May really have only one option, and that's to cover the pocket, Chris. Not our Stephen.
Foul, 2 visits. Yellow balls in play.
And he's fouled. Knocked in Jason's yellows. He's himself a little bit unlucky there.
I think a lot unlucky. If ever anybody needed a break, it was Stephen Horan. But that's when it never comes. 2 visits now for Jason Twist, and 7-0, staring him right in the face.
Little angle on his yellow now. Takes a cue ball forwards. He's absolutely perfect. That's his only real awkward one, and he's on it.
To be fair to Jason, he can only play the balls that are in front of him, not his opponent. And he's clearing up with every opportunity that he gets.
Talk about a tale of 2 matches. Our first quarterfinal, a 9-8 nail biter, and this one, complete opposite. Right now, I think Stephen's only goal should be try and avoid the whitewash.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think we've ever had a whitewash at these championships in the quarter-final stages onwards.
7-0, the whitewash still on for Jason Twist. He is yet to drop a frame over Steve Horan. Steve will be breaking off here. It's a race to 9, remember, for a place in the semifinals and a date with Pat Holtz. And the way that Stephen Horan has been breaking throughout this quarterfinal, you would not believe he was trailing 7-0. Another good break-off from him.
Red Bull's nominated. Red Bull's
As we
play.
see, it looks like his most difficult ball might well be the last black. But he really is the master of his own demise right now. Completely lost the cue ball. And a very familiar position for Jason Twist as he comes to the table. 2 visits given this foul.
Well, they say if you can't get fame one way by achieving the greatest prize in the game, you could get fame the other way by being the first man whitewashed in the Embassy Arena.
Either way, Tony, this young man's made himself proud by getting to the quarterfinals. A lot of people would just love to get there, and he's done it.
30 seconds.
You're exactly right, Chris.
I think, Chris, that's spoken like a true champion as well, given that I've got 2, well, a former winner and a former runner-up joining me in the commentary box here.
Leave me alone, Jim.
Jason Twist, just a little short of pace there. Of ideal situation anyway, and still, he does have the insurance policy of knowing that he's got that miss in hand. Tried to play that a little cute. That yellow next to the black does pose problems for Jason. This is far from a formality now.
Don't think Jason's too bothered at the minute. I think he's just thinking get himself in there because he's probably going to think he's going to get another chance. Two balls missed to the same pocket. I don't think I've ever seen Jason do that.
It's got to be difficult for him to maintain that high level of concentration and with it a killer instinct. He's got to feel like he's got his opponent with 1 foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel already. You knew that was coming.
I think Jason's quite happy just to be there. I know a few weeks ago he didn't know if he was going to play in these championships as he hurt his back, and I know it's still hurting him at the moment.
Well, it's handy for him that he's not going to be out there too long then, isn't it?
That's right. If it had gone the full distance, who knows?
He had a pretty easy passage through here to the quarterfinals. A comfortable 8-3 win over Australia's Ron Kelly, and he was sure tested in the second round, though. He ended up beating Frans Matthew from South Africa 8-7. So he has had his
30 seconds.
share of tense moments in this tournament already. Excellent shot, but getting onto that difficult yellow nearest the cue ball right now is going to pose some problems. It's not available to the bottom left. This will be some shot.
Great shot there by Jason. Perfect position now.
He's really on the practice table right now, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he's just letting his arm flow now. I think he knows he's won the match.
Down the left cushion and right into the pocket for Jason Twist. 8 frames played, 8 frames won. He's but one away for a place in the semi-finals and a clash against Pat Holtz. 8-0 twist over Horan.
Yes, he's making it look very easy indeed. But Lee, is it all Jason or is Steve helping him?
He does look a good player, but he's just not producing it out there. I think both players are a little bit embarrassed for different reasons.
He's missed a couple. We're going to show you a few of the mistakes that he's made throughout this match. Do you think this is just pressure?
Yeah, pressure. He's not cueing the ball properly. He's jabbing at shots. He's took a tough shot on there, to be fair. This one, he moved his head, as he said in commentary. He's overcut it. And perhaps he's trying just to do a little bit too much, really.
So the TV cameras really are getting to him by the sound of it?
Well, he's never been out there before. He's never played on an 8-foot table under this sort of pressure. If you put him in a pub where you could just have a playful game with Jason, he wouldn't be 8-0 down now.
Now, he looks as though he's enjoying it, but I find it difficult to believe that you're 8-0 down and you're really enjoying yourself.
Well, probably 12 months ago, he wasn't even playing pool at this sort of level. So you have to look at him and say, well, he's done very well to get this far, and he'll take something from this defeat.
And what about Jason? How will he be in his frame of mind? He hasn't really played that well this evening, has he? So
he didn't really look up for it, but he's done well. He's 8-0 up, you can't knock him. And the chances he's had, he's took, so he's done well.
So obviously you think he's going to run out a 9-0 winner?
I'd like to see him get one on the board. Just a little bit of a feather in his cap to say he's won a frame, but probably 9-0 at this stage.
I think Chris Mellon summed it up in commentary, though, to get to the quarterfinals. I mean, we're writing him off, and maybe we shouldn't. You know, you never know. It could be a miraculous comeback. But to get to the quarterfinals of a World Championship, tremendous achievement.
Certainly, yeah. It's a good achievement for him. He should take that and think about that when he leaves his championships in about 10 minutes' time.
Well, that's it. Lee Kendall has said it. 10 minutes, he thinks. That's all he's got left. We're about to find out. We're going to take a short break. The question is, can he win a frame, or will Jason Twist run out a 9-0 winner? We'll see you in a couple of moments. Welcome back to our second quarter-final here at the Embassy Whirlpool Championship. Something of a contrast to our first quarter-final. That match went to the deciding frame. This match could be over in the very next frame. Jason Twist leading 8-0. Lee Kendall's with me, and well, it's been a demolition, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be over very soon.
OK, well, both players just returning to the arena. Jason Twist just needing one frame for a place in the semi-finals. I'll hand you back over to Jim White.
And we have to think that one frame won't be too difficult for Jason. He's all set to break. Frame number 9, what could well be the last one here in this quarterfinal. And the bleeding could stop for Stephen Horan very soon. I said earlier in this program, this could well be a baptism of fire. I really didn't anticipate it was going to be a whitewash, and I think that's all Jason can realistically try and avert right now. Or sorry, Stephen could realistically try and avert, is the whitewash. I don't think anyone, to be fair, gives the young Irish player a chance of winning this match. I rather enjoyed what Lee Kendall said when Mark asked him if he thought he could win it. Not much hesitation in Lee's voice. A one-word answer.
Well, the yellow balls are there for Stephen.
But have we said that before, Tony?
Once or twice.
Well, he's got a great opportunity here to clear these 5 balls to take his first frame in the quarter-final.
I think to be very fair, this might well be one of the easiest opportunities he's had. But again, so much movement on that head.
Well, it's absolutely perfect.
Come on, Steve.
Here we go. He's on a perfect on his second to last yellow. Go on then, Stephen. Real simple stuff now, and he's going to be off the mark.
Oh, what's he
Just
playing
trying
there?
to keep everyone on the edge of their seats.
The 8 disappears, and the 25-year-old Stephen Horan with a fist in the air. And the pearly white showing takes his first frame here. 8-1 he leads. It's a race to 9. But Steve Horan out of the gate. Frame number 10. 8-1 the scoreline reads. And still, the break has been an ally.
Where's the black?
Void break.
Well, that is actually a re-rack, Jim.
Not
Black.
very often you see that happen, Tony.
No, very rare occurrence. Like I was saying, the 8 ball off the break. It's just a straight re-rack with the same player breaking off again. Here we see it. The yellow ball coming down the table, hits the 8, and it trickles into the bottom right-hand corner. But Steve Horan still has the break, so there's no change there.
Steve isn't losing this match because of his lack of succession off the break.
No, that certainly has been something that if he ever could have built on that success, who knows what would have happened. Because he has had his chances. Stephen Horan again all set to break. Red down.
Red ball potted.
Frame number 10, 8-1. Just to remind everyone that may be tuning in, a very one-sided scoreline. In fact, Stephen Horan has just won the last frame to go 8-1 behind. Choice of colors here, Tony, and one would think that if for no other reason.
Got to be the Reds. Got to be the Reds, Jim.
And not an easy starter.
30 seconds.
You come down to the red at the bottom of the table.
Yellow balls in play.
Jason Twist coming to the table. He's on yellows.
I think Jason's got a good chance here of landing on his bad yellow.
First shot, try and take the white up the top of the table, Chris. You're exactly right. Just a bit of right-hand side on the cue ball. I don't know. He's ended up over there, Chris. Do you?
Well, I think what he was trying to do there, Tony, was come across and maybe pop the yellow off the red. But he had the perfect angle to land on it first shot.
Nothing easy here for Jason. He's trying to cut this yellow back him up to the top corner. Still a bit of indecision there. Jason will want to get the job done now. He'll be very happy to have such a smooth passage through to the semi-finals. Hasn't had to work hard.
Just slightly overhit.
It's a clever shot from Jason. He's put that yellow over the centre pocket. He's got two choices now. He could maybe play that yellow that's over the right-hand centre off the red into the top right-hand corner. Up as we see here. And that would open up the pocket for the other yellow. And that's exactly what he's going to attempt now.
Yeah, I think that's right, Tony. I think it's all over now. If Jason can pop this yellow off the red, I think we're looking at 9-1.
And it's a great shot. Now, how's that red ball block passage into the centre so that yellow don't pass? It's very, very tight.
So the path to victory possibly altered here for Jason Twist.
Well, it's still there from him. But at the end of the day, it's a lot more difficult now. Just a couple of mistakes creeping into Jason's game.
He really not under any pressure, though. He's got such a formidable lead in this match.
Looked like he was trying to take that off the red as well, Chris. Didn't you?
Yes, that was quite far away. I think he lives a little bit closer than that. Well, it's catching. They're both at it now, missing shots what they don't normally miss.
The advantage there for Stephen is he's kept that top right-hand corner covered. I think I'd rather be on the reds at the moment.
Yeah, I think Jason can drop the yellow in the middle bag, getting on his hard yellow at the top here.
I wonder if he's having a look to try and cut it into the top right corner.
Well, where's the black going if he plays this?
Pretty useful shot from Jason Twist there. It looks as though he's covered the pocket. I've been fooled in the past thinking there was no passage for a color, and in fact there was.
Bell, 2 visits.
That's a good shot there from Steve, forcing Jason now to really go for the game.
Yeah, it's a wise decision. As I said before, he's not the greatest tactical player in the world, Stephen, but he saw that shot well. This is his best option of winning the game, was to give Jason the 2 visits and not leave anything easy for him, and he certainly hasn't done that.
Seconds. Second visit.
I think he was trying to knock that out and screw the cue ball up into the top right-hand area of the table, just to be on his bad yellow, waste his first shot, and then he'd have frame on, but he's not got on it.
Well, what's Jason going to play here?
It looks like he's got to try and smash this in and go around the angles.
He could even go for the double.
Oh, this is off the angles, Chris. And it was never going to be easy. And what's more is a foul. So look at this for Stephen Horan. Frame 2 at his mercy.
Well, it looks like Jason's gone hooky. Couple of unbelievably bad shots there.
He's probably thanking his stars that he's enjoying an 8-1 lead, which looks soon to be 8-2. Still, very little hope given to Stephen Horan to actually try and win this match.
Yeah, I think Jason's just lost his concentration a little bit. He did this in the last match against Ron Kelly from Australia. He was winning 7-0 and Ron came back to 7-3.
And there you go, the 8 down. Stephen Horan takes his second frame in this match. 8-2, 10 in it, but still little chance of trying to win it. Jason Twist all set. Frame 11, a break and finish would be the order of the day for him. And once again, he parks that cue ball right in the center of the table.
Red ball potted.
It's exactly what you try and do. And a very enticing position here for the tornado. Looks like it has to be reds.
Red balls in play.
I wonder if those mistakes have now annoyed Jason Twist and might sort of kick-start him again.
I think we'll see Jason just move up a few gears now and probably take the match at this visit.
Well, he just made the 8 ball a lot harder than it was. Pot that ball and kick the yellow ball so it's touching the black. He's certainly not going to hold back Jason. He's going to go for the jugular. He wants to get this match over and done with. He only requires the 1 frame. Pretty good position.
The most difficult one is the 8. You just get the feeling that he might want to try and dislodge it on the second to last red, leave an angle into the center pocket, and that's if he gets this. So he really has to try and nudge it into the open here, I think.
Jason's just got to be a little bit careful here in case he cannons the black and snookers himself on the red.
And that was the shot.
Absolutely perfect. Brilliant shot from Jason. Open the 8 ball up. He's straight on his red.
Yellow ball to play.
And again, Jason falters at the last hurdle. How many times is he going to do this? He won't be able to carry on doing it because eventually somebody's going to clear up at every opportunity.
And you know what's probably in his mind too, Chris, is he wouldn't get away with this against Pat Holz, his semi-final opponent, should he eventually secure the victory here.
That's right, Jim. Pat needed one opportunity in nearly every frame, and every frame he got that opportunity, he cleared up.
There you see it's a total snooker. Not sure if Jason will attempt to get out of this one. It's a tough one.
Might see Jason play a little exhibition shot here, swerving round the yellow to pot the red.
Oh, I'd have to say, I think the shot to play is to knock maybe one of Stephen's yellows out there and just play safe, but he's going for your shot, Chris.
Just be careful. Great shot there from Jason now.
And this is available, this black. A difficult shout, but it is on. Bottom right for the match.
These are the type of shots that Jason thrives on. He loves the pressure shots. Can he get this one?
I wouldn't fancy him if it was 7 each. But at 8-2 in front, he may well get it. Not quite.
Well, he's left him a great opportunity now. He's got an easy first yellow. And the ball's in a great position now for Stephen Horan.
In a way, if Stephen had taken half his chances in this match, he could well be in the lead.
But don't you think Jason might have stepped up a couple of gears in between that?
Yeah, I agree with that, Tony, but he's been putting the balls off the break and getting the good splits as Steve, and he's just not taking his opportunities. And this one I feel he's got to take here.
I said earlier that he was playing to avert the whitewash and now playing for respectability. And once he gets it respectable, who's to say?
Lovely pot there from Steve. He's just looking like he's playing with a bit of confidence now. He's got those frames on the board. And now, 3 in a row for Steve.
And 3 in a row it is. 8-3 the scoreline now. Jason Twist over Stephen Horan. Steve Horan breaks off now. Frame number 12.
Open table.
Nothing down, an open table for Jason Twist. And I have to echo Lee Kendall's sentiments. I think that as Stephen Horan looks on, Jason Twist wants to get out of this arena. Enough is enough.
Well, he just had a great opportunity to do so, but he missed that last red in the top left-hand corner. And
30 seconds.
just wonder if he's just switched off.
Red balls in
So if he
play.
gets another couple, Stephen Horan, all of a sudden that complacency might turn to a bit of nerves.
That's right, Tony, but you just get the feeling that Jason can step up the gears when he needs to.
Well, you two know
Running.
Jason's game very well, having competed against him on the tour and watched him on many occasions. You've seen what he is capable of. Well, that looked like it jumped a little bit there, a bit of a bad contact, but the Reds pretty well placed.
He's
The one
landed.
nearest the left center looks to be the only dodgy one, Tony.
Yeah, he's landed pretty well. And again, this is another great chance for Jason Twist to ease himself into the semi-finals and a date with Pat Holtz.
Well, in fact, this red passes that yellow into the left middle pocket. So this probably as good an opportunity as Jason has had in the last few frames to try and close it out. And I have a feeling this time Steve Horan might well have had his last hurrah.
Jason Twist just looking to see where he wants to get the cue ball. Wants it over to the left-hand side of the table as we look. And there she blows.
Just about perfect there, Tony.
Eight right center for the match. It took a while to come, the elusive ninth frame for Jason Twist, but he has booked his date against Pat Holtz in the semifinals. He is through a 9-3 winner over Steve Horan from Ireland.
Very comfortable indeed for the number 4 seed. He's through to the semi-finals. He now faces Pat Holtz, who's in superb form up against Darren Appleton. So confirmation of how the draw now looks. That's one semi-final lineup decided. Pat Holtz will take on Jason Twist. In the bottom half of the draw, Lee Kendall in the studio with me will face Phil Harrison, and Carl Morris up against the Frenchman, Yannick Beaufil. Well, Lee, impressed with what you've seen this evening?
It was an odd match for Jason because he's on a high lead enough and everybody expected him to win 9-1. I'm glad it wasn't 9-0. And yeah, he's in the next round. He'll be happy.
You can't read anything into Jason's form, though, can you?
No, Jason's playing well enough. He's just a match where he just got to win the match. He was always going to win the match, and it was a banana skin he had to get over, and he's done that well.
I want to talk about your match quickly before you leave us. I've got to talk about the nicknames as well, because
right.
all you pool players have nicknames, don't you? So you're the Fox,
yeah.
and you're taking on Phil Harrison, who's the Farmer.
Yeah.
And what's all that about?
Well, Phil's a farmer because that's his occupation.
Yeah.
He lives on a farm, and I'm the Fox because under the old rules, I was a very tactical player, so cunning, they say.
And who would you say is favourite for this event?
It's a very open tournament. I think everybody believes that they can win the tournament now. Darren was the one to beat. He's gone, so you'd have to say that Pat's going to fancy his chances.
You think that he'll definitely beat Jason Twist then?
No, I don't think he'll beat him. I'm saying he's going to fancy his chances.
Right, but if you had to make a bet,
I'd back myself.
good man, absolutely. That's confidence for you. Well, it's been a tremendous day's play. We've got one semi-final lineup completed, 2 quarter-final matches to go. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we had. From all of us here at the Embassy World Pool Championships, until next time,